Having covered the umlauts briefly in the previous tutorial part, I will now proceed to explain in detail the sounds of the three umlauts: ah umlaut, o umlaut, and u umlaut. Starting with ah umlaut. To make the ah umlaut sound, you need to first imagine opening your mouth wide and wide enough to say ah, just like the dentist tells his patients to do before checking their teeth, for example. Then, if you look at this image, you will keep your mouth partially open and pronounce the German A alphabet, which, as I covered in previous tutorials, sounds just like the English A alphabet. So from these two images, the A and the A sound will now be combined in such a way that the mouth is not fully open as for the A sound, and it's also not partially open as for the A sound, but it becomes half open as in this image, and with this half open mouth we will pronounce the ah umlaut, or as we pronounce it in German language, eh. Going further, to make the o umlaut sound, you need to first imagine making your facial muscles tense in such a way that your mouth becomes kind of rounded, and then you let out some air whilst making the O alphabet sound. Do note from this image that when O sound is produced, the lips tend to have a what I call diamond-like shape, as you can see here in this image. Then again, whilst keeping your mouth partially open, pronounce the German A sound as in this image. Now combine the O sound and the A sound in such a way that the facial muscles will become less tensed, as you can see in this image, more relaxed compared to when you were making the O sound. And from this image you can see the mouth is still rounded, but rounded so that the air passage has become less than the air produced when O sound was made. So if you look at the air passage in the previous image, and now you look at the air passage in this image, you can see that in this one, the air passage has become less. Although the lips still have a diamond-like shape here, but the shape has become smaller in size because of the smaller air passage. This will be the O umlaut sound, which we call in German also as the Ö. The Ö sound you can find yourself making in everyday life when you try to blow out a candle. Isn't that interesting? So let's move on. Now to make the O umlaut sound, you need to first imagine again making your facial muscles tense in such a way that your mouth becomes rounded again, as you did for the O sound. And then you let out some air whilst making the U alphabet sound this time. Do note from this image that when U sound is produced, the lips tend to become more protruded or projected, as we call it, than when we made the O sound. And also the lips now have a bean or a heart-like shape. Then, whilst keeping your mouth partially open, pronounce the German A alphabet sound. And now combine these two U and A sounds in such a way that the facial muscles become less tensed and more relaxed compared to when you were making the U sound. Now the mouth is still rounded, as you can see in this image, but rounded such that the air passage is very little than the air that you let out when you make the U alphabet sound. Although the lips in this image still have a bean or heart-like shape, but the shape has become smaller in size because of the smaller air passage. This will be the U umlaut sound, which we pronounce in German as the Ü sound. This sound you can find yourself making in everyday life when you try to whistle from your mouth, for example. Isn't that amazing? Can you think of any other situations in daily life when you make the Ö mouth shape or the Ü mouth shape? And please add your ideas in the comments section. The last of the alphabets is the S set. The S set is not to be confused with the English B alphabet or the mathematical beta or any other language's alphabet, because this is unique to the German language. The S set has a sound that is the combination of the simple German S alphabet sound and the German Z alphabet sound. So therefore it is called S set. However, when producing the sound of this German alphabet, you will put your teeth together and bring the tongue forward just so that it touches the inside of your mouth, and you will try to let out sound. So a double S sound. So even though this alphabet is written as S set and it is called S set, but the sound that it produces is a sharp S sound, like the double S sound. And this double S sound you might have heard in everyday life if you have ever come across a snake, and the snake sounds just like this when it is hissing. So it makes the sound.